Have you ever wondered about the story of Nehemiah building the walls in a certain time? Is an inspiring story. Like, the day you heard about this story, what did you carry home? Don't mind about my hair. Welcome to my YouTube channel today. So there is this story of Nehemiah. I got an insight about it, and I recorded the conversation, the sermon that came, and the ufunuo I got. Okay, and I recorded it because I was in prayers during that time, and I recorded whatever the insight I was getting from this story, and I want you to listen to it, and then you tell me if this story has not inspired you. Come along. The wall was finished in 52 days, and the enemy lost confidence. Our story is being derived from the book of Nehemiah. Now, if you are new here, let me tell you. You see here in Elizabeth Chitechi's platform, we have a podcast, okay? But today, I did not want to put it as a podcast. Let it be like a normal video. So, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment, okay? Let us interact on the comment section. Now, have you ever wondered why the enemy fights you so hard before you finish something God told you to build? Not because you are weak, not because you are failing, but because the finished version of your life is dangerous. In my devotion today, I read the story of Nehemiah rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem, and I saw something I had never fully seen before. Nitawaambia, ngojea hapo. You see, the wall itself, it is a sermon. This is not a speech, it's not a prophecy, not a church service. You see that finished work? And you know what? Something shocked me most, and this is what shocked me. When the wall was completed, the enemies, in fact, the enemies, wako wengi, they lost confidence. Not Israel, the enemy. Ngoja hapo. That changes everything now, okay? We are talking about the enemies. We're not talking about the Israelites. We are talking about, or the Israel or whatever. We're talking about the enemy. Now, Nehemiah was not a prophet. He was not a priest. He was a cupbearer serving a Persian king in exile. And when he heard that Jerusalem's walls were broken down and God's people were living in disgrace, the Bible says he sat down and wept. Then he fasted. Then he prayed. Wewe una fasting, wewe unaomba. For 4 months, this guy fasted and prayed. Think about that. Most people today pray for 4 times and quit when heavens feel silent. But Nehemiah carried the burden for 4 months before he even approached the king. Goja, pause. Before you even approach something you do, okay? There is something you're supposed to do. Unaifanya na nguvu yako yote. Then finally Nehemiah is asking, okay? And then the king now says yes. That alone was supernatural. But he didn't stop there. Nehemiah went to Jerusalem and organized ordinary people to do extraordinary work. Each family rebuilt the section in front of their own houses. They carried tools in one hand and weapons in the other hand. That was just amazing. While they built, they were mocked, of course, threatened, intimidated, psychologically attacked. The enemy tried everything possible to make them stop before the wall was finished. Because unfinished things don't scare hell. Have you ever known that? Finished things do. And then came the moment that shocked the surrounding nation. In just 52 days, the wall was done. Gosh, not 52 months, not 52 years, 52 days. Nehemiah 6:16 says, when all our enemies heard about this, all the surrounding nations were afraid and lost their self-confidence because they realized that this work had been done with the help of our God. Catch that carefully. They didn't hold a strategy meeting. They didn't analyze structure techniques. Kama mimi vile nakuanga fundi. Hapana, wao walijenga tu. They lost confidence. Why? Mbona the nations lost confidence? Because the finished wall proved one thing: God was behind it. The wall became theology. People could see with their own eyes. That's what a finished work does. Now, let us reveal something deeper here. And honestly, this convicted me deeply, because I realize most of us are praying way too small. Not because we don't believe in God, but because disappointment trained us to lower our expectation. We edit our prayers down to what feels realistic. God just helped me survive. God just helped me make it through the week. God just gave me enough. Wapa! But the Bible never told us to pray according to our limitations. When you look at Ephesians 3:20 says, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or even think. Exceedingly, mark that word, abundantly, ongeza hapo juu, above all. That is not survival language. That is overflow language. And remember, Paul wrote that while believers were living under Roman oppressions, meaning your environment does not reduce God's capacity. The wall in 52 days was God showing off. And some of you need to hear this clearly. God still wants to show off through finished works today. Now, let us talk about the testimony on that weapon that they were carrying on the other hand. Here is the part that changed how I see the testimony forever. When God does something extraordinary in your life, it's not just for you. It becomes a weapon. See Revelation 12:11 inasema nini? They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Your testimony is spiritual warfare. Every time you declare what God has done, something automatically shifts. That's exactly why the enemy fights so hard to keep people silent. Have you ever known that? He wants you ashamed. He wants you minimizing the miracle. He wants you believing your story doesn't matter. But it matters. The marriage that was supposed to collapse but survived, that one counts. The diagnosis that reversed, that one counts. The child everybody gave up on, that child that God restored, that one counts. The breakdown God transformed into a breakthrough, that one counts. So every finished work in your life is another Nehemiah 6:16 moment. People look at it and realize God had to be behind this, and suddenly the enemy loses confidence. Now, God is waiting for partnership, because what he finishes in your life will become evident for someone else. You are not building for yourself alone. You are building for the person who is losing faith, for the person wondering if God still moves, for the person who thinks their situation is too broken. Your finished wall will preach to them. So pray the big prayer. Ask for the impossible things. Stop shrinking your faith to fit your history. Partner with the God who rebuilds a wall in 52 days. Look at what Jeremiah says in 32:27. I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me? God already knows the answer. The question is, do you? Go back to prayer with the full ask, because God is still looking for lives he can show off through. So today I want to encourage a brother and a sister here. Tusiombe tu maombi ile kidogo, omba kubwa. Okay? Mungu anajua, na zile walls ambazo ulikuwa unaona haziwezekani zinawezekana kujengeka. Ndio maana tunasema kuna testimony kwa kile kidogo ambacho wewe unaona hakifai mbele ya mtu kukisema. Hiyo ni testimony kwa mtu mwingine. Anyway guys, thank you so much. My sermon imefikia hapo, and that is what I discovered in the walls being built in 52 days and the deep revelation about it. Remember, all the time, don't edit your prayers, okay? Don't just say ni Mungu tu amefanya hii, ni sawa amefanya, but don't edit those kind of prayers. Don't limit yourself, because Ephesians 3:20 inasema nini? God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or think. Thank you so much guys. Until next time. Ta-da!